Hi guys, it's Opheana and Sikaal here with part 10 in the Energy Body Tools series, and this final one is about service to self and service to others. We're cosmic shamans, spiritual life coaches, teachers of universal consciousness, and so today we bring you this one on service to self and service to others.
Yes, controversial type subject because there's this service word that has a lot of programs attached to it. You know, the Mother Teresa type service, and then the other service to self, the extremely, selfish, which is another set of programs. And so it's really finding the mastery within your personality to raise above the personality service of I must do, the different values that have been programmed into society. This is the way you serve, you give to charity, you help those that are, less, that have less than you, etc., etc. So finding a place in yourself where you can let go of the programs, let go of the beliefs, come back to center, come back to self, come back to, the I that you are rather than the identity. And then from that place, how does my spirit guide me to serve? And when you are serving from that place, from true love, light, quotient, from your heart space, from your spirit, that's service to others. And the more that you become more of who you are, the naturally more you want to serve others to become more of who they are. And then that percentage builds. And so once you hit past that sort of 50% service to others, that's a key point where you are starting to really set in on your mission. You've really moved through a lot of issues in relation to survival, stability on earth, feeling safe to be who you are, to really not be swayed massively by the external, that you have an internal voice that you listen to.
In the lower levels of consciousness in the Ascension consciousness scale, its service to self percentages are super high. So, this one, service to self, service to others, is depicted as a percentage adding up to 100%. So, for instance, your service to self is 45% and your service to others is 55%, as an example. In the lower levels of the Ascension consciousness scale, what you're going to see is service to self is super high. Might be 95%, might be close to 100%. That's where it's all about the person themselves, their egoic world of survival, like Opheana said, getting money, getting sex,
power,
getting everything
greed,
they need,
yeah.
Power, greed, fame. And as they move through, they realize that more and more of their spirit, one step at a time, can ground through them. Their love and light quotients grow. They have more access to their multidimensional nature. And this is then where their Ascension consciousness raises, and naturally they become more of the puzzle piece they were meant to be here, rather than this survival focused individual being.
Yeah.
And that's where the service to others starts growing. But that naturally happens as well as you, as a soul, listen to the guidance from your spirit. There's so much confusion here because there's also in the spiritual circles, as we've said before in other videos, the giving service is often meant to be, not being paid, no cost, work off your karma. There's a lot of that energy there as well. And so some people can stay in that a really, really long time and they think that's service to others. But in fact, what they're doing is not being their full selves, so they're not being the puzzle piece here. So surprisingly enough, their service to others might be a lot lower than they think it is, because they think they're serving all the time. But for instance, it's from the lower mind rather than spirit guidance. And so it doesn't mean that that is a wrong way to do it, but if it's guidance, then it's good. And the standard one, go work in a soup kitchen, or go work, help old ladies across the street, those are standard things, or give to charities. Those are things that 3D society has stamped as that's really good, that's service to others. And it may be for some people, and they are good deeds, but is it what the service you're meant to be giving to the world? Because if everybody was the same puzzle piece, then the world wouldn't become a puzzle, and the whole collective consciousness wouldn't be the puzzle that it can be as we raise in consciousness. So really what it's about is you following your guidance from your soul, from your spirit, and doing what you need to do. And you can do that, for instance, in full, as an example, isolation. You can be an artist that works on a remote island and just takes pictures of your art, sends it out on the net, and that's what you do. So service to others can be fully disconnected from contact with others. Or you can be of service to others while you're always surrounded by large groups of people. You work with thousands, hundreds of thousands or millions of people all the time. That could be your service. So to others doesn't always mean in contact with others, but it can. What it means is you being more of who you were meant to be on a higher consciousness level.
To serve the whole.
Exactly.
To serve the whole, which you are a part of.
Yes.
And so it's hard to serve the whole when you're only like halfway full. And so, the discussion about serving from the lower mind, we have seen, and you may have seen and done it yourself as well as we have done, when you serve from the lower mind, or you serve how other people suggest for you to serve, that this is a really good cause, can you be a part of it and do this and this job? However, it drains you, or it's not exactly what you want to be doing, but your lower mind says this is really going to help other people. I don't want to do it, but I know it's right because either my spiritual teacher told me, or it's just what they say to do. Resentment can build because, or a bitterness, a tiredness, and when you're tired, you get cynical. It's not healthy service because it's not from your divine spirit. Feel into that. Yeah. Service from divine spirit. Hello. Massively powerful energy just pouring through. Service from the lower mind. I must do, I should do. This will help others no matter how I feel, even if I'm exhausted and blood, and I'm not saying that may not happen, because we're all when you follow, sometimes it's really tough and you do need to claw your way through something, but that's spirit driven. When it's not spirit driven, that's when you can have energetic drains and energetic cords, and where you are literally leaking your energy to serve others, etc., etc. So really feeling and looking into, are there areas of my life where I'm serving from lower mind? The biggest service you can give this entire planet and the beings within it is, and the galaxy for that matter, is to really be the puzzle piece. And what is that again? Because so many people get confused with, well, what's my role? What's my mission here? What's my purpose? How can I serve? It's as we say over and over again, it's really about being who you are. And you're like, well, who the hell am I? I am who I am. Look at me. I'm in my body. I got this soul going on in there. See, it's in my eye. Well, are you living how you want to live? Are you being with the people you want to be with? Have you got enough contemplation time? I go on and on about contemplation time because people don't value it. They think they're being lazy, contemplating, philosophizing, figuring out who am I, feeling who am I, feeling the breeze of Mother Gaia as she says yes when you think a thought that your guides have just transmitted to you. Yes. In that contemplation time, because you stop being at that high brain wave level of beta and you start to drop alpha, theta, and you're just in contemplation. It's not always meditation. It can just be sitting and being. That beingness. Do you have time for that? Have you made space for yourself so you're not like always rush, you have to go there, you have to be here, kids there, people are visiting there, got to organize that, got to make sure the house is clean here, got visitors coming, this, that, and the other. Is that truly how you want to be living your life? And so these are the questions. You ask yourself many questions. Okay, so am I really in each day being who I truly am and want to be, and what brings me joy? Because when you line up with your truth, it brings joy, and it just sits well. It lines up, and you're like, you just relax, and you're like, yeah, this is who I am. It doesn't mean that there's not possibly challenges going on out there, but when you line up with self and you move things out of your life, busyness, jobs that you have committed to, you're like, well, I've committed to it, so I just have to do it.
Yep.
No, you can say, look, I've overcommitted myself. I apologize for that. I'm not able to make it this time. Oh, but we need you. I'm sorry, it's not going to work out this time. I'm sure someone will step in. Everything's in divine order. Just trust, allow, don't be the martyr, because the martyr isn't service to others. It is service to self, because the martyr is feeding that person inside that's in pain, that doesn't want other people to be in pain. It's not about that. It's about raising above emotional pain into expansion of consciousness, into expansion of serving the whole.
Perfect.
Feeding into the emotional pain, feel into that. If you feed into the personality's emotional pain, you are drowning in this emotional soup right here.
Yeah.
Rise above it. It's about consciousness, love and light quotient, grounding through, mastering this emotional part of your body so that it doesn't run you, and so that it doesn't make you go into situations that don't suit you anymore.
Absolutely. I think a really good one to add on to that is, if you're really honest with yourself and you are being of service to others for yourself, that's when you're misaligned. When you're doing it for yourself because you want to feel better about yourself, or you need their approval, or you need to feel whole, if you're self-sacrificing yourself for all of those type of reasons, you're often got things like maybe energetic vampirism and cords and all that type of stuff going on, and it's not your true service to others. Now granted, there are some people who are here to be support roles. That's what they love doing, that's what they thrive, that warms their heart, and if that's truly you, then that is your service to others, that is your puzzle piece. But it'll be exciting to you, you will love doing it, you will love showing up, and it won't be to make you feel good about yourself because of how others respond to what you do.
Yeah.
You should not be dependent on their response to what you do. Then you know you're in alignment. Very important within this category.
Absolutely. And just to touch on that, because that's a beautiful thing to look at, even a little bit separate to this, is just really doing anything in relation to how people see you. Really look into, because that stops you from being who you truly are as well. So really questions. Well, am I really being who I want to be, or am I doing that so I look right for that situation?
Yeah.
Am I doing the right thing with those people, or am I doing it because I don't want them to think that I'm mean? Am I calling that person weakly because otherwise they'll feel lonely? Or do you know what I mean? Like, worrying about how other people see you, worrying about if you look like a good person, that is not service to others. That is service to self.
Yes.
And so it's raising above the personality fears, the personality, sort of digging into the suffering of others and being in it with them, sympathizing with them and getting in the mud with them, you know, getting into situations where you're fighting a fight with them. That is not from the higher perspective. That is serving a different area. And so if you rise above that, really filling yourself with spirit and moving from there, because spirit, your presence, your higher self, isn't going to get in the dirt in an emotional, soupy kind of way. Yeah, it might acknowledge and say, okay guys, you know, might mediate a situation, and that would be your service. You bring it back to center, that's a different matter. But to get in and dirty and to fight the fight from a lower mind perspective is not...
That's not
service to others. And that's where people are getting tripped up, and you know, the fake being kind, you know, really look at what kindness means to you. What's real kindness? It's respect. It's treating someone with honesty and truth, not with a fake, I'll pretend and say certain things so that they feel good about themselves. How is that kind? That's not honest. Just be who you are. That is the best thing that you can do. Be who you are. And if you are coming from that place of love and from true light, because light mixed with love doesn't always look sweetie, softy, lovely. Sometimes it's beautiful boundaries and clarity and focus.
Yeah.
And that's kind as well, because you know what? You give them permission to do what's right for them. Instead of saying, I'll be kind and I really don't want to be doing this, but I'll be kind. I'll say that to them even though I know it's not really true. Be real. Be respectful and honoring of your heart. And that is a true reflection of kindness to them.
Beautiful. And it's about honoring the other person's free will, respecting their journey, whether you agree with it or not, and not just the old 3D way of kind is a smile and understanding where people are at and taking abuse from them because they're in a process. No, none of that is kind. Kindness means honesty, love, free will both ways,
yes.
Respect, and being all you can be.
Absolutely.
Now, added on a different note, the team wants to add as well, for those of you wondering, well, what happens? Does service to self cap at a certain, service to others cap at a certain level? No, it grows all the way to 100%. And what does it mean when you are 100% service to others? It means you are fully spirit embodied. Your spirit is fully in your lower energy bodies, and your lower energy bodies, your personality, are here to be a vessel for your spirit, and that gives you
full service.
Full service. You are not, you are your spirit, so you're not sort of overtaken by spirit and having to do all these things. You want to do them. They excite you. They're in the highest for you. So when you're fully your puzzle piece that you came here to be, that's when you are 100% of service to others. That's where everybody's going. So as you raise in your ascension consciousness, your service to other percentage will grow.
Yes, and so just to touch on a little bit more of service to self. Service to self is keeping yourself safe due to fear, keeping yourself safe financially when you're not really doing what's right for you, keeping yourself sort of in a position that your spirit sort of suggests for you to move out of, but there's too much worry and concern, so you stay where you are. So you're serving self out of feeling your comfort is more important than the higher purpose of why you're here. And so it's again growing through and rising above that initiation of needing to be comfortable, because honestly when you move through that, the comfort is up here. It's not down here, because it's all the mess is in here with the fake illusion of comfort. And so when you move through that initiation and let go of the things that you're scared of losing, that's when true comfort comes, because more of spirit, like Sikaal said, can actually anchor into your field. You have more information, more guidance, more high frequency feeding you, so the cosmic energy soothes you. That's very comforting. When you feel that energy move through, you know what I'm talking about. That's comfortable. So that's real comfort. It's not a veil of comfort, which is most of 3D with power, greed, money, sex, control, food. All of those are more the personality comforts. And so when you raise above needing to fulfill the personality's comforts, like really move through it, not just out of will, it's more out of a high frequency willingness to move above that.
Yeah, beautiful. The team also wants to just add that one of the original sources for this concept, serve self, serve to others, was the law of one materials, law of one, with Ra channeled in the 80s. So if you ever want to look that up, look up a study guide. We also have one of the other videos. We could probably link it in to this video, which is about the law of one and who is Ra. So those are all connected in as well.
Beautiful.
Okay guys, that concludes this series of the energy body tools, the 10 parts. We have loved presenting this to you guys, sharing this with you guys. Use it all wisely and keep growing in your ascension consciousness.
Also, after 3-6 months, or even more often if you prefer, you can check in with another energy body reading just to see how you are progressing. You can progress very quickly if you take the numbers seriously and really, for instance, if you're doing an intense energy body in your physical, emotional and mental, and you're really working on it, you can see the numbers raise quite quickly.
Yeah.
And that goes for all of the different numbers. You can increase your telepathic, empathic, you can get your pineal gland percentage up. You can certainly really work on, by changing the areas of your life, getting your divine feminine, divine masculine really running your life from that perspective, or living your life from that perspective. And those numbers can, just through very clear decisions, can raise as well very beautifully. So check in when you feel guided to get another one. Yep. And keep on rolling. We love you guys. We'll see you next time.
Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you.